The Tennessee Titans are 0-3 as I record this video, but the bigger picture here for the Titans in this organization, they are 3-17 with Brian Callahan being the head coach. It's time to move on. Let Mike McCoy, the senior offensive assistant, go out there and let him be the interim head coach. He has NFL experience. So for anyone that's saying who would they put into that spot, it'll be Mike McCoy because he has experience in the past with the Chargers. Not saying that he's going to be this great coach for the Titans, but you need to move on from Callahan here. When you look at the Tennessee Titans, they were not one of the most penalized teams in the NFL with Mike Vrabel. They had structure. The first thing I want to get into here are the dumb penalties over and over again with this offense. This is a man that is quote unquote an offensive mind. They brought him over from the Cincinnati Bengals, and I always question his hire. He never called offensive plays with the Cincinnati Bengals. That was Zach Taylor, their head coach. And it's not hard to go out there and get great production out of Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. Sure, he helped set up offensive plays, but he did not make those play calls, especially late in the matchup. This man comes over. Immediately within that first year, you have so many penalties on the offensive end. Look at Will Levis with Mike Vrabel. Now, this is not a segment of the video saying that Will Levis will be this franchise quarterback one day. He's a turnover machine. He's going to be a career backup. He's going to stick around because he has the body that general managers love, and he has that huge arm. But Will Levis looked more disciplined and had more confidence underneath Mike Vrabel than he did with Coach Callahan. Coach Callahan comes over. He becomes a turnover machine. He's looking to the sideline. He's confused with the play calls. So many delay of game penalties over and over again. Offensive players, they're lined up in the wrong spots. And you look at Will Levis and the drop-off that he had with Coach Callahan compared to Mike Vrabel. And it wasn't just him. You have this veteran and Mason Rudolph with the Steelers. He's a career backup. He's not going to go out there and be this top quarterback in the NFL. But he did not have those dumb moments with the Steelers how he had with the Tennessee Titans last year. Once again, he's confused with the play calls. The players are lined up offsides over and over again. Those dumb penalties again. That's not on the quarterback. That's on the coach. This is why you have training camp. This is why you have OTAs. This is why you have mini camp for the rookies to go out there and to work on these things. So what are you doing in practice? Listen to these numbers. In week 1 against the Denver Broncos, they had 13 penalties. Week 2 against the Rams, 10 penalties. Week 3 against the Indianapolis Colts, you had 8 penalties. When you go against those other teams, they don't have the same dumb penalties over and over again. So they have not improved on that front. And even now, you look at Cam Ward, through 3 games, he's looked solid. I'm not going to come on here and say that he looks like the next great quarterback in the NFL. He looks good. But he's even confused with some of the play calls. They've had a lot of drops. That's not on Coach Callahan. We'll get into the players on the actual field here in a couple minutes. But you look at Cam Ward, he has his hands up to his helmet. And Coach Callahan, he's fumbling around with the play sheet. You're not prepared. Your players are not prepared from week to week to go against those opponents. And you can't blame this on the quarterback. This is 3 different quarterbacks now that have dealt with the same problem because your head coach is in over his head. He's not ready for this position. And you look at the dumb play calls that he's had coming out of week 1 against the Denver Broncos. They had this matchup won. They lost to the Broncos 12-20. You had a lot of drops in this game, but you were up by 3 going into half. You're in your own red zone. Run the football out and force the Denver Broncos to use those timeouts. You pump the football. Now they may only have 20 seconds left on the clock. They'll probably knee it out. Let's go into halftime with the lead. That was not the case. This man called 3 passing plays. 3 passing plays in the back of your own red zone. And you can't say that they could not run the football. Just go out there and run the clock out. Why are you being so aggressive in that moment? Your defense is already saving you. Cam Ward has already gotten you into field goal range. Go out there, make those adjustments at halftime. That's what good coaches do. Not even elite coaches do that. That's the bare minimum for elite coaches. He can't even do that right. So you give the Denver Broncos more time. They still have their timeouts. They go out there and they score before half. And now you're screwed. But it was still a close ball game. You had 13 penalties in that matchup for 131 penalty yards. Your offense only had 133 yards. You only had 2 more offensive yards than your penalty yards. That's inexcusable for any coach in the NFL. He seems more like a college coach than an NFL coach. Another situation in this matchup against the Denver Broncos. This is one of the best defenses from last season. You see that your offensive line is having problems blocking for Cam Ward. You're calling these long developing routes deep down the field to Calvin Ridley. The same with Alec A.O. Manor. So you don't have the check down options for Cam Ward. So he's just trying to go out there and make a play happen. He'll throw the football away. And here comes Coach Callahan. Let's run the football on 2nd and 3rd down. It's 3rd and 10. You call a halfback draw play. Why would you do that? Your offensive line is already struggling. Go out there and help them out. Do some easy check down routes to make life easier on everyone on the offensive end, including Cam Ward, but you're not doing that. And that also carried over against the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams have some of the best pass rushers in the NFL. Up-and-coming players, Jared Verse, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Braden Fisk, Byron Young. They can all get to the quarterback on a consistent basis, and the same with Kobe Turner. And you're calling the same long developing routes down the field over and over again. You got saved because Cam Ward had a special play in the red zone. He scrambles out to the right. He makes a throw across his body. Coaches say never do it. Well, players like Cam Ward, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and even Bo Nix to a certain extent, and Jaden Daniels, they can make those plays. And the same with Jordan Love. It is just so upsetting to go out there and see this team still try to go out there and win against their opponent, and they're trying to win against their coach as well. And now we go to this Indianapolis Colts game. This man wins the coin toss. He elects to receive the football. Now, depending on how your offense or your defense looks, that can work into your advantage. But why not just go out there and to defer? 97% of coaches, they defer the football. We'll give it to you. We'll let you go out there and dictate this game. Because right before the half hits, we're late in the second quarter. We have 48 seconds left. Let's go out there. We take 3. Or even better, we get a touchdown. We come out of half. We make the right adjustments. Now we double up on those points. Now we can be up by 1 or 2 possessions. But Coach Callahan doesn't think that way. And this is not the first time that he's done that. He's done that before in the past as well. He did it last season when Will Levis was a starting quarterback. You double up on those points. He doesn't have the mindset to be a head coach in this league. Your offense is terrible. The personnel needs to be better. Trust me. But it's the little things as a head coach that will help you out. He is not ready for this spot. And I feel like the only reason why he has his head coaching gig is because of his dad. A lot of general managers, a lot of executives, they love Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach, because everywhere he has been, he has transformed offensive line. He's been a phenomenal offensive line coach in the past. So far with the Tennessee Titans, hasn't had a huge impact. But Brian Callahan here, he's the biggest problem. And I see some comments in the comment section. Basically, I'm a player shield. Players, they develop, they go out there, they do what the coach asks them to do. Majority of the time. You're only doing what your coach asks you to do. Are the coaches responsible for the drops? No. Are they responsible for players playing bad? To a certain extent. Now, if your offensive lineman is getting blown through over and over again, that's not on the coach. You just need to be a better player. But I'm watching the identity of this team, and they don't have one. They don't have a true offensive scheme. It's a lot of bad coaching in today's game. And this is why we've seen players like Baker Mayfield, they go elsewhere to a better situation, better coaching staff. They're superstars. The same with Sam Darnold. Goes to a different team, works out. Jared Goff had a terrible rookie season. That wasn't on Jared. Second year with Sean McVay, top quarterback in the NFL. Coaching matters. It's the reason why you got to this level if you are an NFL player. And sure, we'll have a couple of Josh Rosens that slip through the cracks. They're just terrible players. Straight off the bat, and you just get rid of them. You'll know that around week 5, how good or how bad a player is, truly. But if you have the right coach and you have a quarterback like Cam Ward who can be the face of the Tennessee Titans, that can help you go a long way in this division. And it's so upsetting because you had this game won against the Denver Broncos, but your head coach let you down. Now, these are some things that are out of Coach Callahan's hand here. Calvin Ridley has not been a good wide receiver this season. Calvin Ridley in the past was a very good and productive wide receiver with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the same with the Atlanta Falcons many years ago. Through 3 games, 8 catches, 111 receiving yards. He has so many drops in that matchup against the Denver Broncos. And you'll have the occasional analysts that come out and they'll say, well, wide receivers are not going to always be open. Cam Ward is throwing them open. He threw him open against the Denver Broncos. Drops. They had 4 drops in the fourth quarter against Denver. Against the Los Angeles Rams, they had a lot of drops in that matchup as well. Calvin Ridley doesn't look like that number 1 wide receiver. He looks more so like a number 3 wide receiver on this roster right now. And this is a team that desperately needs wide receiving help. That's why they signed Tyler Lockett in free agency. And he's no longer the same Tyler Lockett that he once was. Honestly, he looks like a player that should have retired a year ago. But Alec A.O. Manor, he stepped up. He looks better than Calvin Ridley, and he's a rookie. He has 10 catches, 107 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. He's doing the best that he can on the outside. You have Chime DK. This man has 5 catches for 1 receiving yards. That is how bad the personnel is on the outside. But even if you did have that elite wide receiving play, I don't trust that Coach Callahan would know how to go out there and help them out and help scheme them open and help go out there and use them to the best of their abilities. Cam Ward, so far, he's not turned the football over at a high clip. He's doing the best that he can. He'll throw the football away. His pocket awareness right now, in my opinion, is heading towards elite. Those sacks he took against the Denver Broncos, he just couldn't help that because the offensive line play has been a huge issue for many years now. Dan Moore Jr. is not a good tackle. And this is also something else that I want to speak on. I saw a lot of comments about this. What were the Tennessee Titans supposed to do? Not pay a player that was a veteran in this league? Exactly. You draft a tackle in the 2nd or 3rd round and you let him develop, instead of going out there and giving this man a massive contract when he allowed 12 sacks last season. I could see if Dan Moore Jr. was a top-tier tackle in the NFL, I wouldn't have made that comment. This man is terrible. He was horrible with the Steelers. And you'll have a lot of Titan fans that'll try to speak up and say, well, you know, Russell Wilson holds onto the football for a very long time. The same with Justin Fields, because those were the starting quarterbacks last year with the Steelers. He still allowed a lot of pressures. He was top 5 in pressures allowed last year on the left side of the offensive line. He's not a good player. And he has this massive contract right now with the Tennessee Titans. If you draft a player in the 2nd or 3rd round, rookie contract, and you give them time to truly develop and you see what you have with them and you slide help on that side. But with the amount of money that Dan Moore Jr. is making, you would think that this man's a top 5 tackle in the league, but he's far from it. Your best offensive lineman right now is Peter Skoronski. He's been a very good player in the interior. Since his rookie season, he's been the most consistent player on the Tennessee Titans on the offensive end. You signed Cushenberry in free agency a year ago. Last year, his season was cut short with an Achilles injury. We'll see if he can perform better. But I'm starting to believe that this was more so of a system player with Sean Payton in the Denver Broncos, because that last year with Denver, he had 900 snaps played. He only allowed 1 sack, and he was a very good run blocker. That hasn't been the case with the Tennessee Titans. Kevin Zeitler, he's out with an injury right now, and J.C. Latham. The potential is there. He just has to stay on the field. So you have young pieces on this offensive line, but it's still a revolving door in terms of going out there and trying to help out Cam Ward. It's just not good enough, and it's also hurting your run game. Back to Coach Callahan here for a second. You hear all these offensive line struggles. This man is calling these long developing run plays out of the backfield, and it's starting to hurt Tony Pollard. Now, Tony Pollard, he's not on the same level as someone like Saquon. He's not going to go out there and have those big-time plays on the ground over and over again like Derrick Henry. But he's a talented running back. Right now, he's only averaging 3.6 yards a carry. Bad offensive line and bad play calling. But yet, he's stepping up every single week, and the same with Cam Ward. And for this man to be this offensive head coach, the best unit on the field, and back-to-back years now, has been your defense. Because of the players that you have on that side of the field. I really like the interior of this defense with Jeffrey Simmons, and the same with T'Vondre Sweat. Now, T'Vondre Sweat is on IR right now, but when those two have played together, they look very solid in the interior of this defense. Draymond Jones, he's a solid player. He's not going to go out there and be this phenomenal pass rusher, but he can give you good production on the outside. L'Jarius Sneed had a terrible season last year. You can say that he was dealing with injuries. He was getting acclimated into the system. We'll see what can happen with him for the rest of this season. We have a Money Hooker and Xavier Woods on the back end of this defense. But I still like the defensive play calls that come out from their defensive coordinator. I think that Mike McCoy should be the interim head coach with this team. And the sooner that you get rid of Coach Callahan, the better, before he ruins Cam Ward. Because this is also a kid that has been sacked 15 times in 3 games. He's on pace to be the most sacked quarterback in the NFL this season. But we got to see that last year with Will Levis. And another thing here about the coaching issue. You don't believe me with the coaching problems, because there'll be some fans that come out and say, well, it's all on the players that have to step up. Malik Willis, a former quarterback on this roster. He went to become the backup quarterback with the Green Bay Packers. The Titans traded him. This was a man that did not have a passing touchdown in Tennessee. He got to start a couple games last year for Green Bay. Better system, better coaching. Coach LaFleur realized this kid, he's not a natural thrower of the football. He's not going to go out there and throw dimes all over the field like a Patrick Mahomes, like a Jordan Love or a Justin Herbert. But he's a damn good athlete. Let's go out there and let's build this system around him. We'll run the football, get the defense, go to sideline, and then we could take those deep shots down the field. And Malik Willis was one of the better backups last year in the NFL in that limited action that he got to see. So coaching matters. Hopefully the Tennessee Titans can find the right coach. And I look at ownership here. She went out there and she moved on from Mike Vrabel because he was not going to be on the same page as the general manager, only to fire Rand after 2 years. You have a brand new general manager. This man did not hire Brian Callahan. He has no true allegiance to Coach Callahan. Move off this man and bring in a head coach this offseason. Maybe someone like Jesse Mentor, who is a very good defensive mind with the Los Angeles Chargers. If you want an offensive head coach, sure, go with someone like Cliff Kingsbury with the Washington Commanders. I know his first stint in the NFL with the Arizona Cardinals didn't end that great, but he still had a lot of good moments with the Cardinals. And he has more experience on his back now because of the work that he got to do with the Washington Commanders. He had Jaden Daniels be the best rookie in the NFL. Maybe in history that we've seen, especially in recent memory. I think that he could do wonders with Cam Ward. But right now, move off Coach Callahan, let Mike McCoy go out there. And the one thing with Mike McCoy, he did a very solid job with the Chargers. He had some bad moments with clock management and offensive plays. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you blame most for the Tennessee Titans being 0-3 right now to start the season? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.